This hour, the fate of Metro Police Officer David Bisard is in the hands of 12 men and women in Fort Wayne.
The jury's been deliberating the officer's future for a little more than 2 hours now. He's accused of driving drunk and killing a motorcyclist more than 3 years ago. It's been one drama-filled moment after another in this case, including today when the judge dismissed a juror before closing arguments. We have live team coverage from Fort Wayne. We start with Jack Reinhardt, who's been in court for each day of this trial. Jack.
During closing arguments today, the prosecution and the defense each had 90 minutes to condense some 13 days of testimony. But ultimately, the evidence will be decided by the jury. The prosecution says that it proved David Bisard was driving drunk and that he caused the death of Eric Wells and the injuries to Kurt Weekly and Mary Mills. The state portrayed Bisard as a disinterested party at the crash site, walking around by himself, refusing medical treatment and the consolation of those on scene. Were his bloodshot eyes and profuse sweating signs that Bisard was drunk? The fact that he bore down on the victims at more than 70 miles an hour, was it too a sign of poor decision-making and another indication of impairment? And that he was texting about state fair food minutes before the accident, was it one more example of intoxication and lack of decision-making? The state said yes. Deputy Prosecutor Mark Hollingsworth said, quote, "That's the line he was probably laughing about when he barreled into the back of Eric Wells." Bisard's defense team says the case belongs in civil court and not criminal court. He told the jury they must decide between negligence and recklessness. His lawyers quoted an expert witness who said Bisard, quote, "used the highest levels of his executive brain function to radio for help and direct arriving officers as to which streets and intersections to block. They attacked the blood test drawn by a med tech who was, quote, in over her head. They blamed the .19 result on a bad machine that was last tested in 2003. Don't let the state discredit some of the 39 witnesses, all of whom said they didn't smell alcohol or see any signs that Bisard was impaired. Now, the jury got the case shortly before 3 o'clock this afternoon. It's expected they will deliberate until about 9 o'clock this evening. If they're unable to reach a decision, they will be sequestered at a Fort Wayne area hotel. They will be returned to the courthouse tomorrow morning and begin deliberations anew. Live in Allen County, Jack Reinhardt, RTV6.